Well, Marvel isn't just thinking about the next big move. They're actually playing the long game, and nothing really proves this more than Daredevil's return, not to his own series, but to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This isn't just a cool cameo, it's a strategic move that could shape the future for the MCU in ways we haven't realized yet. So let's take a couple minutes to dive in and talk about that. Well, we're going to take a couple minutes out today to talk about something that has me genuinely hyped. The return of Daredevil. And I'm not talking about Daredevil Born Again. We just got the last episode of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and this series marked the return of Daredevil in animation, and it's being voiced by Matt Murdock himself, Charlie Cox. Now, this isn't just a cool Easter egg or a little hype for the show. This is Marvel playing a long game, and I think it actually tells us a little bit about their future plans. And first, let's acknowledge something that's kind of rare that's happened. Although many people have talked about how James Gunn pointed out the same voice actors playing heroes in animation will voice them on the big screen, this series was actually in production before DC Studios was formed. And typically, animated superhero projects will recast voice actors, even if the character is being played by a well-known live-action actor. Now, the fact that Marvel brought Charlie Cox back to voice Daredevil tells us they see his vision of the character as the version moving forward. This isn't just a one-off animation appearance. This is an investment. They want younger audiences to associate Daredevil with Cox's performance, which means they're actually looking at him sticking around for a really long time. Marvel's approach here is pretty smart. Animation reaches a different audience than live action. Kids who may not have watched Daredevil on Netflix or aren't deep into the MCU will now have an introduction to the Matt Murdock character through your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. The show absolutely nails the character, and it sets up future projects where Daredevil can slide into much bigger roles in animation and, of course, live action. Think about how X-Men the animated series of the 90s made Wolverine and the team basically household names before the movies happened, and this could be a similar play for Daredevil. This also shows that Marvel has a long-term plan for Daredevil's MCU integration. Ever since Spider-Man No Way Home gave us a brief but exciting Matt cameo, at that point it was clear Marvel was reintroducing him. That was followed up by his appearance in She-Hulk Attorney at Law, which gave him a lighter, more comedic tone while still retaining some aspects of that Netflix portrayal. And now, of course, Daredevil Born Again is right on the horizon, so it's obvious that Marvel sees him as a key player in the MCU's street-level storytelling. But bringing him into animation signals something even bigger. They don't just want him to be a one-off player in a few shows or movies. They're investing in making Daredevil a lasting presence in multiple mediums, ensuring that both old and new audiences grow with him as a staple character. And if Marvel is doing this with Daredevil, we really have to ask what other characters could get this treatment. We've already seen Spider-Man animation used to reintroduce characters like Kingpin, who was a pretty big character in Into the Spider-Verse and then part of Hawkeye. This means we could see Marvel use our animated universe as a launchpad for characters they want to keep around long term, even beyond Spider-Man's world. The timing of this move is also worth noting. With Daredevil Born Again set with a pending release, Marvel is making sure that the audiences, especially those younger ones, are familiar with the character before the show drops. This approach actually suggests a strategic effort to build long-term brand recognition, similar to how they nurtured Iron Man and Captain America before making them the faces of the MCU. Daredevil is already beloved by fans, but by expanding his presence in animation, well, Marvel ensures that future generations will know and care about him just as much as they do some of their other characters like Spider-Man. Now, this is the first step, but it could lead to so much more. Could we see more Marvel animated series that directly connect to the MCU in a meaningful way? Could this be a way for more characters to get developed between movie appearances? And could Marvel animation finally really start playing on the level as things like Clone Wars, which made themselves feel as important as their live-action counterparts? I also have to wonder if Daredevil could actually get his own animated series on Netflix. Charlie Cox's involvement shows he's definitely open to playing the part in this medium. And fan response to the animated version of the character, especially that teaser at the end of the first season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, suggests to me in that particular world, Daredevil is one of the big players, and with the response, I can't see why Marvel wouldn't want to take advantage of that. In case you didn't know, Daredevil actually had an animated series being developed way back in the 1980s, but it never got a full launch. We actually did a video about this several years ago, and I have to encourage you to check out the different approach of that era. This version of Daredevil definitely was a lot different than the comics, not just because he had a dog sidekick, but he launched himself out of a cannon. Check that video link out down below. The possibilities are huge, and Daredevil's return in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is the big signal Marvel is thinking way ahead. So yeah, I'm excited. Not just because Daredevil is in this show, but because it means Marvel has long-term plans, and they're planting seeds now that could pay off in a big way later. Charlie Cox coming back is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see where this leads. If Marvel plays this right, Daredevil's return in animation could be the first step into making him one of the MCU's most enduring characters, with his presence felt for generations. Now, before you take off though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the real, truthful superhero news, and we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are really in the know.